Greatest Cards of All Time podcast number 50, Mickey Mantle. A 1954 Bowman number 65 in that set. And, of course, the classic photo. The Mick looking over his shoulder, the 1953 Topps number 82 in that set. Very iconic card in the baseball card collecting industry. First time I've personally held these cards, these old 50s Topps and Bowmans, in my hand.
One correction. It is actually not a photo. The 53 Topps went back to painting.
Oh, okay.
So that is actually a painting, not a photo for 53 Topps. So
beautiful cards. Either way, these are beautiful cards. They really kind of knock you back when you're in their presence. Like I said, one of the first times I've held these old 50s recognizable mantles, so kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. They're beautiful cards.
Actually, I want to talk about the cards before we even get into his career. Like you said, these are cards. These are probably the most valuable cards that I held in my hand. We didn't take them out of the protective cases.
And
that
they're
they
meaningful.
Were in.
These are meaningful cards. If you can appreciate collecting baseball cards, you know what these cards are. And
right.
They really have a presence to them, I will say.
And these cards are during the, what some have coined, the bubble gum card war era, which basically covers Bowman set from 1948 to 1955, as 55 was the last year that Bowman was around. And I did get some information from this book. It's by Dean Hanley from Dean's Cards. If people are out there purchasing older cards on eBay, they probably are familiar with Dean's Cards. I have actually purchased several cards from him myself. We've talked about the fact that
Dean, yeah,
they actually have a rough grade or their evaluation of the card on the back, and it seems pretty fair.
Something that you can reference,
accurate.
And yeah.
So, getting back to the cards and actually why I brought this up, because there were some unique things that were going on during this so-called battle. They were trying to sign individuals to exclusive contracts. So basically, some individuals signed exclusively with Bowman, some exclusive with Topps, and that actually came into play in these cards that we're looking at right now. So
it's an interesting way to do it, right?
Right. They were in serious competition, and it's a long story. It's a really good book. Check it out. But specifically talking about the 1954 Bowman, they had some of the exclusive players were Nellie Fox, Pee Wee Reese, Eno Slaughter, and obviously the one that we are looking at right here, Mickey Mantle. So you actually could not get a Mickey Mantle in Topps in 1954 or 1955. So I thought that's unique. That's something unique to this time and something that I just wanted to bring up. Now, the 54 Bowman, what do you think about the actual look of the card, the quality?
I do like it. I don't love it as much as I do the 53 Topps. That card really resonates with me more than the 1954 Bowman number 65, but I do appreciate that card too.
So what's
beautiful.
Unique? The Bowman,
the one we're looking at today is in a screw-down container.
Right. Also a painting. So that one...
Also a painting.
Bowman, the year before, actually tried using photography. And they just lost so much money because it was a new technology. They used color photos, and they got destroyed. I mean, it was so bad that they actually, mid-year, they stopped producing color photos and turned them to black and white.
I do think it is a very nice photo of the Mick. I do think that is a very nice... Painting.
Right.
Photo. Photo of a painting? Painting of a photo.
That's a painting of that's a photo of a painting. Whatever it was, it's basically a painting.
I do like that picture. On the 54 Bowman. It's a nice flattering picture of Mickey Mantle, I think.
I do like it too. What do you think about the quality of the card? Let's say you were going to grade this card. It is hard probably to sell.
Optimistic, 5.
Okay, I
A
think
very
that's,
optimistic 5 on the Bowman.
I honestly think a 4 would be optimistic because there's,
I'll take a 4.
yeah, I think that'd be optimistic. Realistically, I think it's probably a 3. So if I'm putting a grade, I'm putting a 3 on it, and the corners are not super sharp. It is off-centered. There's a mark. There's like a red mark above the name. I'm not really sure how much it would get dinged for that little mark, but there is definitely a mark on the card. So that's kind of why I'm bringing
visible,
it more
yeah.
into a 3 than anything above that. How about the 53 tops?
53 tops, like I said, that card really resonates with me as a card collector. Classic photo, he's looking over the shoulder. Super recognizable. Number 82 in that top set. I love it. Very photogenic human being. Mickey Mantle. All his cards are kind of cool looking, I think.
Right.
Nice photos, paintings.
What about
all
a grade?
across the board?
So
I love both of those cards.
Love these cards. Like I said, these are the coolest cards I've ever held. I don't,
Iconic.
Yeah, iconic.
I'll say it one more time. Iconic cards.
I love the 53 set. I actually like 53 tops more than 52 tops. If I was going to put a grade, just because they're paintings,
I can respect that. That's fine. I'm just a 52 tops.
I like 52 also, but if I'm giving a grade to the 53 tops here, I'm thinking probably a 2 or a 2.5.
Probably a 2. The more we were talking about it, I was thinking maybe a 3. But the more we were talking about it, yeah, maybe more realistically a 2 when it does get slapped.
There is a crease on the card. I'm not sure how easy that is actually coming over.
That's the big
in the
factor.
light box. There's a crease. The edge, the lower left edge, I don't really love the way that looks. The corners aren't great, off-centered, but, still beautiful card. I wish it was mine. I wish I could say it was my card, but it's not. How about we talk about the start of his career?
I'll tell you this,
All
raised in Oklahoma, this man. And his dad, Mutt Mantle.
Mutt Mantle.
M-U-T-T. Mutt Mantle.
Apparently a baseball fanatic.
Baseball fanatic, taught him how to bat from both sides of the plate, actually, right. One of his strong suits. So I thought that was very cool.
I thought that was cool.
Old Oklahoma boy learning the game from his poppy.
It wasn't just his pop. I think it was his grandfather. So I believe his dad would pitch him right-handed, and then his grandfather would pitch him left-handed. So that's how he learned how to bat both ways. I believe he was named after Mickey Cochran, who his first name isn't actually Mickey. That's a nickname, but still, I thought that
old
was
school player. Yeah,
right?
I do recognize that name for sure.
As far as his first contract, he actually signed for $1,100 signing bonus. $400 the rest of the season. In 1949 in Class D, he actually hit 315. At the end of the season, he returns home to work in the mines with his dad. So,
yeah.
Still crazy. And then, 1949, he's actually still working the mines. That's just nuts.
And the Yankees signed him a year after his high school graduation. I thought that was kind of cool also.
Right. They were just waiting for him. They thought he was, everyone was anticipating him being the next great player.
Mutt Mantle.
Mutt Mantle
had high hopes for his boy.
Crazy. He actually made his debut in the majors on April 17th, 1950 is when he was called up. He did not actually he didn't get any official at-bats. He took batting practice and actually traveled with the team and got to watch, obviously, the players, but didn't make an official at-bat in 1950. Spring training, this I thought was an interesting story. So 1951, the clubhouse manager actually gives Mickey Mantle number 6.
Yeah.
I'm sure most Mickey Mantle experts out there knew about this, but basically the thought was Babe Ruth was number 3, Gehrig was number 4, DiMaggio was number 5,
yeah.
So they thought he's going to be the next best Yankee, so they actually gave him number 6. And
how about 6?
Weird. I never knew that. He actually played on the 17th of April, 1951, 4 at-bats, 1 run, 1 hit, and after that, he started going into a slump. So June, July, first year, he's going to a slump, gets sent back down to the minors. And even when he got back down to the minors, it didn't go very good the first, several at-bats, to the point where he actually kind of had a mental breakdown. I didn't realize that. Yeah, he called up his dad and basically told him that he wants to quit. He said he lost all confidence. He can't hit.
They need that sports psychologist.
So his dad hung up on him and drove out there to confront him and just basically started calling him out. Really, he said, I thought I raised a man. He just basically called him out, called him a quitter, starts packing up all of his crap.
Mutt,
yeah.
Mutt went out there?
Mutt went out there. And ultimately, when he's packing up the stuff and getting ready to leave, he basically said, I'm going to give it another shot. Had a breakout in the mid-August. He was only down in the minors for about a month and a half. Got called back up August 24th, 1951. That time he actually got number 7. So August 24th, 1951, had a new number back in the majors. Actually had number 7 for the rest of his career. And finished out the 27 games batting .284 with 6 home runs and 20 RBI.
How about one of his major injuries in his career, actually? I don't know if you hear about that. You always hear about all the highs of his career, obviously, when everything's said and done. Yankees legend. Just an all-time baseball legend, but he did suffer a severe knee injury in Game 2 of one of the World Series when he was on the Yankees when they went for a pennant run and squared off against the New York Giants in that World Series. And an interesting little tidbit on that, it was a torn ACL chasing down a fly ball off the bat of who else?
I'm not sure.
Willie Mays.
Oh, right. I did
off
know
the
that.
bat of Willie Mays.
That's right.
Tore his ACL.
So it was
chasing down
between DiMaggio and Mickey Mantle. And they basically last second, Mantle heard DiMaggio call it. He pulled up. Didn't he step in? He stepped in like a grate. He stepped in a drainage grate in the outfield and went down like a bag of bricks. Basically,
Yeah.
said people looked like he got shot. And that's when he tore his ACL.
Blew his knee out.
This was crazy. So after that, he's going to the emergency room, trying to get in the taxi cab with his dad, Mutt. Leans on Mutt, and Mutt crumples.
No.
He has to go to the hospital, actually. He's diagnosed with cancer, Hodgkin's disease.
What?
And literally, they actually watched the World Series side by side in the hospital.
Mutt?
Yeah, Mutt and Mickey next to each other in the hospital watching the rest of the World Series because, he was basically sent home to die with cancer after that.
His first 5 seasons, the Mick. Man, this guy is insane. He averaged 144 hits, 24 home runs, 89 RBIs, and in 1952 was awarded his first of 20 All-Star selections.
Yeah, the guy was a stud. 3-time MVP, obviously a Hall of Famer. Career WAR of 110.2.
You like that?
Anytime we're talking
WAR.
triple-digit WAR, that is just
Triple-digit
insane.
WAR.
Next level. As far as at-bats, 8,102. Hits, 2,415. Home runs, 536. And batting average of 298. Played from 1951 to 1968. But the one thing that I wanted to point out, obviously this guy led in so many different categories on the offense, talking about slugging percentage.
Well-rounded
hits,
player. Well-rounded player.
One thing that stuck out to me that I really did not know, he led the league five times in base on balls. So, he obviously had an eye.
He was stealing a lot of bases, too. He was stealing a lot of bases.
Even in softball, even in slow pitch softball, I've always said, if you can just basically have a good eye and only swing at strikes, you're ahead of the game right there. And obviously, Mickey, great eye. I don't think those were intentional walks, really. I could be wrong. I mean, I don't think that was used all that often in the 50s and the 60s. So
I don't think so.
Obviously, the guy had a great...
The pitching was a little more sloppy. Maybe you see more walks. In 1957, the Mick won his second consecutive AL MVP award as he batted .365, which I thought was massively impressive. With 173 hits and 34 home runs, 94 RBI, and 121 runs scored. That season, that 57 season, was insane. Won his third MVP award in 1962. 1956 was probably his career year, I would say, when he led the AL. In batting average, .353, 52 home runs, and 130 runs batted in to win the Triple Crown.
Crazy. I believe that was the most home runs he ever had in a single season, right? Was that 52 home runs?
Yeah.
Obviously, Mickey was one of the most iconic players of the 1950s and 60s. First time Hall of Fame ballot with 88% of the votes in 1974. Mantle appeared in 12 World Series, including 7 championships, and holds the World Series records for most home runs at 18, RBIs at 40, extra base hits at 26, runs at 42, walks at 43, and total bases at 123. No wonder why this guy is so iconic.
The Mick.
The Mick. Not only did he dominate in regular season play, he was a dominant player when it really mattered in the World Series. What a stud.